How you doing, guys? We are live. Mind, Body, Bank Account, episode number 22. And I'm fortunate. I'm always fortunate. I'm a fortunate guy. I'm fortunate tonight to have with us a real cool guy, a real Canadian, right? This guy, small town Ontario boy, grew up in St. Mary's, moved to Toronto, now calling Calgary home. Canadian rocker with an awesome sound and just an all-around great guy. I'm interviewing Danny Nix. So let me get Danny on here. We're gonna have a chat tonight about facing racism. Danny grew up as one of the only, hey Dan, you tell me if I'm right here, but I think you got to be one of the only visible minorities in our area. At least when I was living around there, we really didn't see a whole lot of pepper in the mix. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, it's definitely true. I mean, Mitchell, Ontario. I mean, there was nothing there besides my sister and I, who were both adopted. I was actually, it was funny. I was just looking at a school picture today from grade 7. I was showing one of my friends at lunch today. And
Yeah.
I was like, look at all the white people, and there's me. And but I mean, that's how it was. That's how it was when I was in St. Mary's as well, too.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, it's funny you say that, because I just had a buddy of mine post something on Facebook recently, and he is living in I want to say Iqaluit. He's way up north, right? And his kids, actually, I think he was accompanying another friend of the family, their 8-year-old boy, to an airport in the southern region of this massively north region, and the kid says, "Look at all the white people." It was awesome, right? But just so innocent, just like, you know. Yeah. It's what a world. So good seeing you, Dan.
Yeah, you too, man. It's been many years, eh? So.
Tell me about it. Like literally, like what are we at?
Like 25 years. 20 plus years for sure.
For sure, man. For sure.
So we all have a little more gray and a little more wrinkles. But,
Tell me about it. So,
but we're a little bit wiser as well. So
I like to think so. I'm sure hopefully. In 20 years we'll look back and say, "Damn, I didn't know nothing." Yeah. But yeah, it's good. It's good seeing you. So
you too, man.
You're in Calgary now? I
am. Yeah, I've been out here about 9 years now. So
right. So
give
us the Coles notes of your story from small town boy starting out in Mitchell St. Mary's area, and where you kind of moved on and how you landed in Calgary.
All fortunate steps, I guess, in life. I mean, I grew up in a farm just outside Fullerton, Ontario, and went to school at Upper Thames with you for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And I'd always done music. I'd been starting music when I was 4. I was Royal Conservatory, piano, and whatnot. And my parents divorced when I was 12, and we moved to St. Mary's, and that's where I went to high school and had bands in high school, and still, a bunch of my really good friends who I still talk to today. And then, when I was about 22, funny circumstance, I lost my job and my apartment in the same week, and they both weren't my fault. And I'd been thinking about moving to Toronto, and I knew I'd kind of had to get out of St. Mary's. I believe if I wanted to do anything, and nothing against St. Mary, I have such great friends there, and such great memories of living there.
Right.
But I lost my job, my apartment in the same week, and I was like, well, I guess that's a sign.
Yep.
So I went and I lived in Toronto for 10 years, and I did the whole music scene there, and I got signed in 2005. It didn't work out, which I'm now kind of glad that it didn't work out. And then I was just kind of stuck in a rut for a couple of years, and nothing was moving. My tires were just spinning in mud, and I was watching all my friends around me become successful and succeed and grow in life, and I knew I had to do something. And again, kind of like I did when I left St. Mary's, I had to make a huge sacrifice, which was kind of like leaving your friends behind. But if they're your friends, they're always going to be your friends. So I finally figured that out, and I moved out to Calgary. And I'd kind of given up the dream of kind of wanting to be a rock star. I think by now I was like 32 when I moved out here, right? And I was like, And so I kind of got a career, which I'm still doing, which I love. I work with seniors with developmental disabilities. I love it. And I
Wow.
just started playing music again for the love of it. I just started getting back out on the stage and playing my own stuff and writing and just trying to book some shows. And it turned out it just, yeah, I mean, I'm more successful now than I ever have been. And Calgary has been great for me for A, my career, and B, my musical career as well. And
Awesome.
I'm no rock star, but I feel successful, and I get to make money at what I love doing, in both of my jobs. So you know what they say in life, right? If you love what you do, then you never work a day in your life. So
That's it, man.
I
That's it.
I love what I do, and I love that I get to go out and perform for people 3 nights a week. I'm out playing, so
And yeah, and you know what,
so
Dan? Greg Ball is right. You are a rock star, man. What are you talking about?
Greg Ball, now that guy's a
Right?
rock star.
He's a
Yeah,
rock star
this
too.
guy played. Yeah, this guy plays with Paul Langlois from the Hip. So I mean, he's in
Wow.
a band called Campfire's Liar. Greg Ball, how you doing, man? Long time. And yeah,
Yeah, but you
he's
know what though? Yeah, you're doing your thing. You're doing
I'm doing my thing though.
you're
Yeah,
doing two awesome things that you love and you're good at, and like you say, you're making money and you're doing what you love. So yeah, that's success, and you're a rock star.
exactly. And the music that I've done, whether it's been cover shows, original shows, especially just playing cover songs, which I love doing too, right? I was talking to someone the other day actually when I'm one of my other buddy musicians, and we were talking about playing cover songs. And it's like sometimes I enjoy playing a cover song just as much as I love playing one of my own. I get the same feeling, I get that same, excitement when I'm playing, right? But I mean, all that has led up to me again to be able to amass. Like I built a studio in my house where I can do my own recording. I have like 20 guitars,
Awesome.
5 or 6 of them, which are like my absolute dream. I've always wanted guitars. So, I mean, I've been so lucky and so blessed to be able to do this. So.
That's beautiful. So many people plod along every day, just dragging themselves to doing something that they hate. And like you say, when you said you just started playing for the love of it again, and
Yeah.
things just blossom for you.
And things opened up. Yeah, it was great. Yeah, I'd kind of got a little salty about music at one point, and I think it was kind of after I got signed and it didn't work out, and then I owed a
Yeah,
lot of money,
yeah,
which
yeah.
I shouldn't have had to. And even that album that I recorded wasn't really the style of music that I really wanted to do. And the guy that produced it is still one of my best friends to this day. But we kind of took a real 70s rock, and he was really pushing my voice. And I'm kind of like an acoustic, like la, da, 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 let's
That's
write some
cool.
happy songs, kind of
Yeah.
guy. So I love what I'm doing now, which is a little more laid back, a little more like kind of Tom Petty, Sam Roberts ish,
All right. Cool.
blue
Cool.
blue rodeo ish kind of stuff. So
Nice. Nice. Well, you know what though? It's all about evolution, right? I mean, we're evolving
yeah,
as people. We're learning
Ron Hendry,
ourselves,
how you
and
doing, Ron Hendry? Hi, Greg, Nicholas.
yeah,
So
you
I
got
got
a
some
lot of people
guys on
chiming
there.
in here, man. So,
So
yeah. So grew up small town, St. Mary's. Not a lot of diversity, right? Um,
yeah,
then the big city, move to Toronto
I
and
say
start working on your thing. So what changed mindset wise in Toronto? You're going there to with an active goal of kicking off this music career. Do you think that just by focusing so much on the development of the career and the money aspect, is that did you lose the passion there, or what's changed from now you're
yeah,
doing it because you love it?
yeah.
So talk to me about what the difference is there.
I just lost a lot. Yeah, I think that whole time I was while we were doing that album, I was working the whole time. So I wasn't even in the studio for a lot of it. I was there for pre-production, but when the actual recording was happening, then I wasn't there for it. And then I was in this coming. Okay, I'm coming to the studio and record your vocals, and
Yeah.
it was really frustrating. And it was a lot of like, I don't. You got to push your voice, get your voice, and it was really taking me out of my comfort zone, which is nice because it taught me a lot. But as well, it really frustrated me. And I used to come home and my guitars would have long time. My guitars just have dust on them. I just come home and I wouldn't want to play. I didn't have any motivation to want to do it.
Yeah.
And that was getting to the point too, as well as my job that I was working, and that it was time. I needed a change. I needed something different.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you move and when you make big moves, sometimes I believe that sometimes you just have to do it in order to help yourself succeed, to kind of kick yourself in the ass and say,
Sure.
okay, I need to put yourself in a completely uncomfortable situation.
Disruption. Yeah.
Yeah, disruption, and say, okay, I have to succeed now. And it was, I didn't feel like that when it came to music this time around. I just kind of came out and, like with a job and a career. I was pushing myself for that, and I was like, okay, you're going to succeed.
Yeah.
But in music, I didn't have that. I was just like, I just want to get on stage and play some songs. And
That's awesome.
It's turned into be something real good. So I'm super stoked about it, man.
That's good, man. That's good. I like to hear that. Now, when we chatted last, and we talk about open stuff here. I mean, it's a little controversial sometimes, right? But recently, you told me about 2 separate episodes within the last couple months where
it happened within a week.
You're right. It was within a week.
2 weeks. It happened within 4 days of each other. Yeah.
See, this kind of crap just blows my mind nowadays. You know what? It does and it doesn't. We like to think that we're an inclusive society, but the truth is, there's a lot of bullshit out there, and people with such closed minds and limited thinking and scared mentality. Talk to me.
Sad. And this is where I believe, where I've been blessed in life, and that was, going back to my adoption and being raised in a white family in a small town that was predominantly white. I face a lot of racism every day, but I've never gotten racism because I grew up with my family being white, and they're my blood, as my brothers and sisters, and my mom and dad. They're as much blood as my blood family is to me. So I never saw the differences, and I never understood why someone would be opposed to somebody with.
That must almost be harder to understand when it does hit you, because you see the inclusive family. You know what I mean? Like, you go, how?
And all my friends are, all my friends were white. I'm still are. All my family's still white. So I mean, I just never saw. And you ask most of my friends, and they will tell you I'm the whitest black person they know. So
all right. That's cool.
I have no color in me besides the pigment of my skin, man. I can't dance.
but it's like, it's funny because what you're touching on is we have some preconceived notions of what certain groups of people are like, right? So we always hear the cliche, the white guy can't dance, he's got no rhythm, right? But
that's all me. I can't jump. Okay, I can't dance. Okay.
Hey, you know what though?
But I can sing the crap out of some Neil Young.
There you go, buddy. There you go. That's cool. That's cool. That's good, man. That's good. So,
well, you were talking about the racism.
Yeah. So give it to me. Let's hear it.
So I was in Tim Hortons a couple of weeks ago on a Monday with my client. I work with seniors with developmental disabilities, and we were in Tim Hortons. And
which, by the way, is awesome. What you do, working with seniors with disabilities. Like, I mean, that's a heart to serve, my friend.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome job. I have no complaints. All my clients I work with are phenomenal human beings. So. We were just in Tim Hortons having a coffee, and I had the table pulled together because I saw another coworker and my buddy Jason and his client Rob, who I also work with, were coming in for lunch. So these 2 guys came up and tried to sit at the table that was pulled up next to me, and I, polite, I'd say, "Hey guys, sorry, it's got some, people are coming to sit down right now." And the guy's like, "Where? I don't see anybody coming to sit down." I thought he was joking. I thought he was like, "Okay," and I was like, he's like right, and I pointed like I'm like. Right there in line.
Yeah.
Like, whatever. You should just get the fuck out of my country. And I was just kind of like, what?
Really?
I'm like, I'm like, didn't you just hear me speak?
So
it was,
did people like?
yeah, I don't,
Was this within earshot of other people? Did people just sit there and watch
yeah.
this? Like, I mean,
So there was a guy sitting beside me, and you know, I was like, what? Like, what did you say? I'm not a tough guy, so I'm not gonna like get up and beat him up or anything. But I was like, what did you say? I got a mouth, right? And
yeah.
the guy beside me just kind of tapped me and said, don't, just let it go. And it was another man of color, and I was like, you're right. You know, obviously I was with my client too, so then I had.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I just kind of let it go, and again, but it didn't hurt. Like it was hurtful, but not like for me personally, because again, I don't see the racism, so people can say anything they want to me, and
Yeah.
it doesn't bother me. It's like, well, if you say that, I'm 10 times cooler than you anyway. So
You got to
what?
almost feel sad for somebody like that, though. Like,
And you do, yeah. And I just felt bad for the people that actually have to hear that.
yeah,
That
sure.
legitimately have to hear that.
Yeah.
That those words get spoken to on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Like me when I was younger, and people, you know, would call me the N-word all the time.
Sure.
That I heard that a lot, right? So I understand what it's like to be called that. So I felt for those people that have to go through that, and that's where I got upset the most about it, was that other people have to endure that, and that's crappy.
It's ridiculous,
And then
man.
and then the Friday, so this is like 4 days later, I'm going to a gig, and I show up in like my fedora and like my rock and roll T-shirt and jeans, and hauling gear. I'm bringing in my guitar, and I was walking out to grab some more gear, and the guy's like, hey, "What are you doing here, man? What are you planting bombs?" And I was like, "What?" He's like, "Well, I've never seen you in here before or something." I'm like, "Bro, I'm the musician tonight. Like, I'm just playing some tunes." Like,
Yeah.
you know, I just kind of went back outside. I was kind of, my heart was like starting to race.
Oh, yeah.
And then the waitress came outside like right away, and she's like, "Did he just say what I think he said?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was, by the time I brought in another load of gear, he was gone.
Good.
Yeah. So
Good.
she came up and apologized. And that was like, it's not your fault. She's like, "No, like we don't accept that kind of stuff here." And so yeah, and it ended up being a great gig that I ended up, as karma would work, that I got some other gigs out of it. So
That's it, man. It's awesome.
know, hey, that's how life works, man. You know, you just gotta be positive, keep on trucking, and
You do. You do, right?
things work out, you know, how they're supposed to. So
Yep. Yep. And
I think I was telling you before, I had said when we were talking, the first conversation we had, and I said, you know, in life, because we were kind of talking about how if you make mistakes, you don't make mistakes, and I don't know. Yeah, I've made some stuff that are probably questionable, but if I hadn't made those mistakes, then I wouldn't be where I am like right now.
Absolutely.
And I always believe that where I am right now in life is where I'm supposed to be. So how could I have done anything so wrong or whatever if I'm where I am now and feeling so blessed in my life and happy, and because I mean obviously everyone's going to hit bumps in the road, right? And I think it's just kind of getting up and doing it. And I think living in Toronto for 10 years by myself, and, you know, moving to the big city, you know, opened my eyes, and I was by myself and was paying my bills for the first time. I was 22. We're all dumb at 22. If there's any 22-year-olds watching, don't worry. You will look back 20 years from now and be like, God, I was dumb.
Oh yeah.
But I had to learn all that. You know, I was living by myself. I was trying to get out, and I was making mistakes, you know. I was messing up, and I'd get down a lot and be like, oh, you know. And I had this one time where I hadn't paid my taxes in a bunch of years, and I got a letter in the mail that was like, "You owe $5,000," and I was like, "What am I gonna do?" And I called my dad, and, you know, to ask him for help, and my dad said no, and it's probably still to this day, and I tell him all the time. I think it's one of the best lessons I ever learned, because I was mad at the time. It's like, wow, what am I supposed to do?
Yep.
And then, you know, as I pouted for a while, and then you finally stand up and say, okay, time to stop pouting. We need to figure out how to get out of this situation. And I figured it out, and that was a great stepping stone in life and helped me.
So true.
A lot of ways to become who I am today, and I really thank my dad for that, because he was like, no, you need to figure this out. So, yeah, I mean, life is always going to throw you curveballs, and life's always going to do something. And the older I get now, when it actually happens, I don't actually pout anymore. I just say, okay,
this is the test. What do we do now?
Let's work it out.
That's it,
you know,
right?
We got this. It's all good. And also learning, trying not to take today's stresses into tomorrow as well. Like like if I didn't pay this bill today, well, it's still gonna be there tomorrow. So like, why am I worrying about today?
You know what? Good advice. No, it's very true.
I'll worry about that tomorrow when I wake up and take each kind
I
of
mean,
day
handle what you can today.
Right.
Do what you can today, but all you can do is all you can do. So tomorrow there's another day. Yeah.
Yeah. So don't lose sleep over it.
And like you said, if you are where you are, regardless, if you're going to be there regardless, like you said, that bill and those issues will be there tomorrow. Right. It's just don't let that crap beat you down so that you don't continue on with what you should be doing with your life, which is becoming happy, right? I mean,
exactly. That's right.
Yeah, and I think sometimes when we let those negative influences just infiltrate our minds, if we're not constantly, picking the weeds out, without maintaining the garden of our mind, that those negative weeds will take us over, and eventually we start giving up our dreams and start wallowing in our own problems and all that kind of crap, right?
Yeah.
So,
and it gets you down. I mean, that's I mean, it's
we're human, of course.
It's gonna get you down, but yeah, there's you put it out there. It's what's gonna keep happening. If you keep waking up and being like, why does this keep happening? Well, it's gonna keep happening to you. And I went through that in my 20s. I went through a period. Why does this keep happening? Why does this keep happening? Why? It just kept happening.
That's
why?
Right.
Because I was putting it out there.
That's right.
I was almost saying, come on, give me more bad stuff.
It's so true, man. It's so true. I was talking to my kids about the same thing the other day. I said, when you are thinking to yourself or having that, that self conversation, your subconscious mind doesn't differentiate between positive and negative. It just hears the words. So when it's hearing, this is always happening to me, I'm having a bad day, nothing goes right for me, the universe just says, hey, they're always talking about a bad day, nothing going right, and things go. Give it to them. And the coolest thing is one of my kids in the backseat of the car pipes up and goes, Dad, it's like SpongeBob and Squidward, right? You want to be positive like SpongeBob and not negative like Squidward. And I thought, you know what, man? All right, I'll go with that. That's 8-year-old mentality. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
But it's so true though.
And actually, one of the girls I was watching, Lays I was watching, Sarah, my at work mom. Hi, Sarah. She, I suffered anxiety for a lot of years in Toronto, and probably because of that.
Right.
Probably because I kept putting all this negative stuff on me.
Yep.
She was always, I'd probably call her like 50,000. I was a delivery truck driver, and she was the receptionist. And I'd probably call her like 50,000 times a day, like, I'm dying, and I don't know, but terrible anxiety that I suffered for years. And I don't. Even my wife says now, she's like, I don't know the last time I seen you have an anxiety attack was or whatever. And I think that all comes and again, like many doctors had been trying to give me like prescriptions and medications for it, and I always said no. I was always like, no, I can get out of it.
Right.
And it took me a lot of years, but you know what? It was all the positive thinking and kind of get my mind and body on the same page finally, and being happy in life. So I try not to take those stresses into the next day and be happy today. And actually, my job actually makes me super happy.
That's awesome.
I have this one client, Wayne, that I work with, and he's one of those guys that he has dementia, so you're always doing the same thing with him, which is fine. And he's so funny and he's so sweet, and but he picks up on your mood. So if you go in there in a bad mood or you're hungover, something's not happening in the day, and you gotta turn that off, and you gotta.
Because he's got you. He knows, eh?
Yeah, you can be in a bad mood, but as soon as you open that door to wake him up in the morning, you better be on the. But it's funny because automatically, about 5 minutes later, I've totally forgotten that I was in a bad mood, or I've totally forgotten that I was anything, and I'm just in a happy mood.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so I mean, my job is a blessing like that as well. So.
See, people think that it's all this woo-woo out there stuff that you can't create the mood that you want, but that's so garbage. Like,
yeah,
Wayne, when you go in the room, I better straighten myself out because Wayne's
That's
not going to have
right.
it. So,
Yeah.
so you are
Because he'll
taking
be
it
in a bad
upon.
mood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're
You don't want him
physically
in a
able
bad
to
mood.
change that state of mind by making a decision and just
Yeah.
doing it. You
Yeah.
make the decision, you change your ways, you get up, do a little jig, put a smile on, and
Yeah.
it's amazing how you can really just change your whole mental environment by wanting to.
Yeah. And I'm like that around anybody. Like, I mean, everybody has bad. I had bad days. Everybody has bad days. I mean, my wife, when she's watching now, I mean, she's one that sees my bad days. But when I'm out and I'm out with people, I never I never complain about if I'm in a bad mood or something. Someone
Yep.
asks me how I am, I say great, and then sometimes even just saying that word can change my mood. Even if I'm in
Very
a bad
true.
mood, someone's like, "Hey man, how you doing?" I could just be like, "Oh man, you wouldn't believe what happened to me," and "Oh, this is happening and that's happening." And I'm also one of those believers, like everybody else has problems too, so they
Yeah,
don't want to hear mine. I'm not gonna be like,
exactly.
"Hey, oh, come and listen to my problems." So if someone asks me how I am and I'm in a bad mood, I'm like, "Yeah, great, man. Like, how you doing?" Like,
Yep.
and then yeah, again, sometimes that can also change my mood.
Sure. Sure. So now doing what you love, doing it just because you want to get on the stage, and
Yeah, I love it.
and things are happening for you. So right now you're doing solo work as Danny Nix and
Yeah, so
playing
I
in the cover
solo
band.
with Danny Nix. Yeah, I play in a cover band called the Brother Bandits, and we do a lot of corporate and wedding stuff and
Yep.
bars as well. And then my guitar player and I from the Brother Bandits, Duncan, him and I do a duo, Albert and Nix. And then
Cool.
actually everybody in the band I do dual stuff with. So my drummer Chris, I do dual stuff with him. And then I did a show last weekend and this weekend with my bass player where we're doing dual shows. We did one last Friday. We're doing one tomorrow night as well. And
Nice.
yeah, and then I do play a lot of solo stuff. But it's fun, man. I can never wait to get on stage now. It's and I'm always down here learning new songs. My wife will attest. I'm like down here screaming out new songs all the time in my studio. So
That's good, man.
I'm always excited, and I've been writing again. I'm just trying to get back in the process of my studio is down for a while, which is really frustrating again because I'm not a technology kind of person. So when
Yep.
something happens to my computer, I have like no clue what to do, and I'm just lost. And then I just get upset. Like, "Fine, I just won't record anything."
Yeah.
And I get all pouty, and I don't write any songs. So actually, this time was good because my computer was down, but I was like, "Hey, man, just keep writing, just
Yeah.
it'll get worked out," and obviously it has now. And so again, it's all good. So again, I came into one of those situations where I could have been all down and depressed about it, but I learned like 20 new cover songs, and I wrote 3-4 new songs while this problem was happening, and so I didn't lose any time.
That's it, buddy. Right?
Yeah,
Yeah. We talk on this show quite often just about how those little obstacles, they're not roadblocks. They're not blocking you. We talk about flowing like water. Water will
yeah,
find a
exactly.
way around, over, underneath something, but
Yeah,
just continue to move forward with just something.
yeah, exactly.
Every day,
Yeah,
just a little bit towards your dream, your goal, whatever it is that you need to do to make yourself happy, right? So
yeah.
very cool.
And I just like, and it's I love all the people in my life. I love all the people that are around me. I love like so all that stuff makes me happy too. Like I
Yep.
have all these wonderful people in my life that fill my heart 100%, and so that makes me happy in life, and that's good to have good people. And so I try and tell myself every day that I'm blessed. I'm not a religious person. I'm
No,
quite an
but
atheist actually, but I always tell myself I try and tell myself every day that you're blessed. You have the best three. I have all the families, and I'm the luckiest guy. I have my adopted family, I have foster family, and now my biological family. Like if I'm not the
right.
luckiest guy in the world, and I get along with everybody in my family. I love everybody.
So you
See my
you you have found
see my
biological
circadians
family as
watching.
well.
So
You
yeah,
found
so yeah, I met my mom 6 years ago.
wow.
Facebook,
No doubt,
so
eh?
yeah, and
No doubt.
I've been looking for it for a bunch of years, and I finally got some stuff back from the adoption agency in 2009. Ontario opened up all their files, so I sent back in with the information that I had that my mom had given me,
Right.
and sent back in. And I got this thing in the mail a couple of weeks later, and it had like her name on it, and Ursula Lawrence had her name on it, and the address she lived in, and I kind of got excited. But then again, I had to bring myself back down to a level because it was like, okay, you could be excited, but nothing's happened yet. She could possibly be dead. She could have a possibility that she doesn't want to have anything to do with you.
Yep.
And or there's the other possibility that it could all work out. And I found her on Facebook about 6 months later. I look exactly like her, so it was pretty easy when I found her on Facebook because I was just kind of looking.
Oh, yep, that's her.
staring back at me. Yeah, and then
yeah.
Like Declan wrote an email and said, my name's Danny Nicholson. I was born June 21st, 77, Toronto, Ontario. Wow. My birth name is Obi. Did you happen to give up a child for adoption? And yeah, I got a day later, I got a message back.
Wow.
It's like, yes. And then the next day, I was getting phone calls from family.
It's incredible,
It
man.
was, my mom called my brother, and my mom called my brother, and she was crying.
It's incredible.
My brother Omari is like, what are you crying for? And she's like, I've done something. And, my mom was kind of a saint. She's like, my brother Omari is like, what have you done? Like, would you kill somebody or something? And she's like, no, like I had a son. And I guess my brother Omari automatically was like, I have a brother. What's his name? Where is he? What's Scott Dixon? How you doing, man? Yeah, amazing, and it's just been again. This is why I try and say I'm blessed every day because I just have wonderful family.
It's awesome
all around.
It's the way you got to think about it, though, right? I mean, yeah. We when you lay it all out there and you look at what you have in your life, we are very blessed. At least most of us are. And, like you say, everyone has problems. Everyone's got their crap they got to deal with, right? But like you said earlier, everybody else has a bag of their own crap. So you kind of keep yours to yourself, deal with it, right? Get rid of it and keep moving on. But
that's right. Yeah. And I think that helps. I think that helps you kind of stay positive as well if you're not always kind of bringing other people down, because when I talk to like my family or my friends, and I mean you talk to any like my friends and my family, I'm always the one that like a lot that calls, that reaches out, will send the text, will be like, hey, thinking of you, hey, what's going on, hey man, haven't talked to you in a week, or hey, and because I believe your friends my family are so important.
It's cool because just that act alone, that does such huge things for the person on the other end of your message. You know what I mean? Just when you message someone and say, hey, how's it going today? I was thinking about you.
Yeah.
Subconsciously, that puts something in their mind. Someone was thinking about me. Like, it's very powerful, man. Very powerful.
Yeah, hopefully that puts them in a good mood, like just like when people call me, I was like, I've gotten phone calls too, where people are like, hey,
do you remember what it was like to get a letter
like relates you? You're like, well, yeah, right. I know. We're always like that. Every time we check the mailbox now, we just know it's bills. Like,
right? When you used to get a letter in the mail with your name on, it's like, woohoo!
Yeah.
It's someone saying, hey, send you right now. Now it's a Facebook knuckles or something, right? But when you reach out to someone, let them know you're thinking about them. It's powerful, man. It's powerful.
Yeah, exactly.
And here's what I also believe too. Sometimes when you have that serendipitous moment when someone pops into your mind and you haven't thought about them in a long time, call them, message them. There's a reason. And it may not be.
I do that after I'll dream of somebody. Actually, I'll have someone will pop into a dream, and then when I wake up in the morning, I'll send that person a message. I'll be like, "Hey, you were in my dream last night, so I just thought I'd say hi." Kind of thing.
Yeah, it's pretty creepy, Dan. Take care of yourself.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
yeah, but
blocked.
Yeah, but it's true though. You never know what. This world is very mysterious. So just letting someone know that, hey, you were on my mind.
It's funny because yesterday, not Tuesday, sorry, when I left work, I had this huge feeling come over me all of a sudden. I needed to call my mom.
Yeah.
And my mom's passed away, and so I kind of was a little sad. I was like, oh yeah, I can't call her. But then I spent like my whole ride home like reminiscing about my mom and some of the great last conversations that we had, and kind of hearing her voice in my head. And then I got home, and then my sister Cecily calls me and was like, "Hey, I was just thinking of you. because, as you know, yesterday is Mom's 1 year anniversary when she died. And I was like, I totally forgot.
Oh, wow.
So
Wow.
I kind of believe that. But my mom kind of came and was like, "Hey, Dad, remember me?" It's
Wow. Wow.
you know. So that was quite yeah. And I was like, "That's yeah." And as soon as she said that, I was like, "That's so weird," because as soon as I left work, I like, Mom just came.
Wow. Sorry to hear. I didn't know she passed, but that is wild.
Yeah,
though that you get that feeling. You know, it's just it's kind of unexplainable, strange when you realize the connection there. But very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, it's great though. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Well, listen, Dan.
I'm so blessed.
It's been really good chatting with you, man. And you know what?
You too, man. You look great too, eh?
Oh, buddy. You know, I was almost going to wear my fedora.
Those gray hairs are suiting you there a little bit, man.
That's platinum. We don't call that
nice.
gray. That's platinum there, buddy.
41, man. Not one gray. I have one gray in here somewhere.
Wow.
So
see, I went from, I don't know, I think my wife might be watching, but if you notice, this side is a lot more gray. Hold on. No, it's this side here. Sorry, I'm double.
So,
yeah. Well, because when I'm driving, that's the side that she's on. Right?
Oh, so yeah. Fair enough. Yeah.
I told her that before too, so I'll get ready for a punch in the face when I get off here.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Hey,
that's awesome.
We age and we get some wisdom and we learn more and we grow more and we
get wiser. Isn't that the best? I think that's the best part. Getting wiser.
I think so. I think, Yeah. I mean.
Even with my smart ass remarks, I get wiser in mine and wiser in my comebacks when I get older too.
Yeah.
So
hey, that's good. Cool. That's cool. All right, but hey, listen. You know, another time I may have to talk with you about what you do for a regular day job, because that is something that is incredible as well. I don't think there's enough. You know, what you do is for a living is from the heart, and it really takes a person with that heart to serve to do what you do. Not everybody has that in them to work with people with disabilities, mental health, you know, elderly, all of it, right? So I mean, you're a good man, Mr. Danny Nix.
Well, thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate that.
And you know what? All the comments as you scroll through these as well, there's nothing but big props for you. I see rockstar, a whole bunch. Salt of the earth, real stand-up guy. So, you know, whenever you are having second thoughts, just rip through this video again and you'll have a whole bunch of inspiration. So listen, when we get off of here, if you have any contact info, you know, website, Facebook, YouTube, whatever you got, feel free to throw them in the comments. Let some people know how to get a hold of you.
Sure.
People, get out and see Danny Nix on the stage. He's a good man. Yeah, buddy. Listen, Dan, you take care of yourself. Thanks a lot for spending some time with us tonight. And
well, thank you very much, Mike.
You keep following your dream and you know, pushing people up and all that kind of good stuff. Because you know, the more we can do it, the more we can inspire other people to do what they're awesome at and make them happy.
Yeah.
To make a better world for everybody.
Just keep living. LIVIN.
I like it, brother. You take care of yourself, my friend.
You too, Mike. All right, man.
Dan.
Take care.
Peace.
Bye, brother. Ciao.
There he is. Danny Nix. Great guy. 25 years ago, I met Danny in grade 6 in a real small rural town where, you know, where when I walked into that classroom, again, I never really knew it at the time. But yeah, we were, it was a very, very whitewashed community that we came from. But that's okay, right? I mean, obviously, Danny has persevered through everything, and he's doing what he loves, and he's happy. And at the end of the day, that's what it's about. It's about happiness. And I don't know why I keep getting back to the racial stuff, but to the people who are making those comments, I gotta feel sorry for them, and you gotta almost forgive and bless those people too, because there's something hurting in their lives that are causing them to want to, speak out in that fashion, and with I strongly suggest to everyone who has kind of those prejudiced thoughts, spend your $99 and do an Ancestry.com. It'll be pretty wild to see what your family history holds and how your views on other cultures may change once you find out where you're really from. So take care of yourself, everybody. Have yourself a great night. Remember, keep your mind open, your body strong, and your bank account growing. Have a great day.